Hello and welcome to Formula Phil. How are we doing? Just want to say a big shout out to the people who have liked and subscribed the videos already. Thanks, that's well cool, and you're helping to get this little channel off the ground. Thank you very much. We're going to do a slight change of format today. I'm just going to do a small video on why F1 was so dangerous in the 50s, 60s and 70s. But fear not, F1's Forgotten Heroes will continue. In the next couple of days, I'll have another video up. Actually, if any of you want a particular driver done, leave a comment and I'll get on it. Right, anyway, let's get back to what we're doing today. How and what made F1 so dangerous? Well, like anything, it's numerous things, not just one thing. It's safety of the cars. Cars were incredibly dangerous machines, no safety for the driver whatsoever. And the tracks themselves, no safety again, with often no barriers or armcos or poorly fitted, and the sheer length of the tracks back in the day were huge, so if there was an accident, the paramedics or fire marshals took forever to get to the scene. Let's have a quick look at the figures of that time in the 60s and 70s. If we're looking at F1 World Championship races or practices, in total there are 8 drivers that were killed in the 1960s and 9 that were killed in the 1970s. But there's another way of looking at the figures, because back then a lot of drivers drove different motorsport classes. Even Jim Clark was killed in an F2 race. So if we include Formula 1 drivers that drove in other motorsports, it gets ridiculous. So counting how many Formula 1 drivers were killed, you get much higher numbers. In fact, there's 29 deaths in the 1960s and 18 in the 1970s. Formula Phil favourite and racing legend Sir Jackie Stewart has said that during the years that he represented, the peak of his career, which was in the 60s and 70s, anyone who continuously raced had a 2 out of 3 chance of dying. Being a professional racing driver 40 years ago was unbelievably dangerous. There wasn't a safety culture. Even seat belts were not made mandatory until 1972. And then, some drivers didn't even wear them due to the fear of being trapped in the car and burning to death. The tracks could be up to 15 miles long. The Nürburgring was that sort of length. And getting safety cars to support drivers in the event of an accident was almost impossible. So road circuits of that type gradually disappeared. The last time that track layout, or the Nordschleife, was used was 1976, and that was when Niki Lauda was so badly injured, which was made now famous in the film Rush. Conditions for Formula 1 drivers today are thankfully much safer. Their safety is paramount. Well, back in the day, it was just basically trying to make the car as fast as possible, and the driver was actually an afterthought. And it is thought Colin Chapman, the genius that ran Lotus, that his pursuit in lightness and outright speed often jeopardized driver safety. The drivers back then were friends. They were a solid group. They were a generation of charismatic men that, searching for glory, risked their lives in the bloody period of the sport, not knowing when they headed off in the morning for race weekend, perhaps they wouldn't come back. Those drivers who risked and lost their lives changed one of the most exciting sports forever. From the 60s onwards, racing car engines started to double their power and reach incredible speeds. Then, with a new television audience, the arrival of money and sponsorships, drivers started to become real superstars. Modern gladiators thrown into the spectacular arena of Formula 1. Safety seemed to be down on the list of importance, and most drivers believed that it could never happen to them. That it was always going to be someone else, that it wouldn't be their time to go. But for an incredible number, it was. It's easy to look back with nostalgia at the glamour and the danger of that era, the discovery and rapid advancement of aerodynamics and in engine and technology, but the cost was massive. We're talking around 50 young men dying for this sport. And many saying that Formula 1 now has become boring and diluted through safety and advancement in technology. That in fact we paid a huge price to get where we are today. And if anyone wanted to go back to those dangerous times, I think Max Mosley, former president of the FIA, put it most profoundly. Go to the funerals, comfort the wives, the girlfriends, the friends and family. Be a pallbearer, see the sadness, and then make a decision if you wanted Formula 1 to be more dangerous and less safe. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this. As I said, we'll be back to the Formula 1's Forgotten Heroes in the next couple of days. This is a small little video to keep you going. Please like and subscribe, and
good luck.